Good late morning of October 20th. I am your host, 154, and today we are going to be going over the likelihood of not only a significant burst of cold air, which will truly bring a first taste of fall to some, and not only that, but also a strong taste of winter to some, but also the potential of our first major winter storm and widespread winter storm of the season. So we're first going to look at the official guidance, what the Weather Prediction Center is saying, and then we'll go over the models, and then I'll go over my predictions after that. So as you can see, this is Friday, just whatever. Then we'd have that Alberta Clipper come down around the Saturday time frame. That actually does play into what is to come a bit, because as you can see, so it's beginning Sunday, around Sunday morning, you notice that there's a lot of low pressure systems. But the point being is that you notice that there's this cold front sagging down it pretty quickly too. And then you have widespread rain and even some thunderstorm chances there. Then you move on to Monday morning, you notice that a bit of a stationary front staying up. Now, this could be the setup for our first storm because Mount guidance is now indicating two storms, a first and weaker one, and then a second stronger one. And I'll show you that later. But again, a cold front and a stationary front setting up. Just give you a bit of a sneak peek of what's to come. Tuesday morning, you see that activity move further south, but then there's your main system to worry about. Wednesday morning, you have chances of snowfall, extending from northern North Dakota and especially into the higher elevations of Montana. Then by Thursday morning, chances of snow are widespread, pretty widespread actually, coming from the northwestern third of North Dakota, a bit into South Dakota, and then Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana, and then rain and thunderstorm chances. Now, there could be a bit of a severe threat, but it's not going to really be enough of a worry to at least warrant forecasting it in this veil, other than throwing it out there that there could be a small chance of severe thunderstorms. Then Friday, here's where things get a bit tricky because as you can see, they still show a bit of snow, but as you can see, large cold front, but then you have mountain snowfall ongoing. Now that's because again, a second storm could come, so that's the front page. Now, if you look at their winter page, day four already 30 to 50% chance of about quarter-inch equivalent of snow and sleet. And then day five, 50 to 70% chance, and 30 to 50. And then again, the forecast becomes muddled here, so obviously there's lower chances. But you can see that it extends from Minnesota all the way into Colorado at one point. Then again, the front, you can see the generalized idea. So that concludes the Weather Prediction Center. Now I will move on to some of the other official guidance. Okay, so now I'm gonna quick show you the day 8 to 14 U.S. hazards outlook. Why? Because as you can see here, so the composite page, you can see much below normal temperatures expected from Nebraska into Montana. Now this is for the October 27th through the 29th. Now it will be lasting longer, but that's as far as it goes. But as you can see, already a significant chunk of the northern plains there, and that's just a much below normal. So again, you look at the temperature map, you see the slight probabilities extending from western Montana down to northwestern Kansas, and then again to northern Minnesota. Then you look at the precipitation. Now, honestly, we'll most likely see precipitation concerns further to the north too, especially depending on how the first storm sets up, if it sits over some places over a longer period of time. But according to the Weather Prediction Center, Washington into Northern California. Now, again, this is with that second storm that the European really shows me quite the beast. But from the 31st of October, so Halloween to the 2nd of November, you could see some very rainy conditions. And then this is in accordance with that first storm, which is subject of today's video, obviously. Just a huge bubble of slight rain chances there. And then what about snow? As you can see, from Colorado down to Kansas, all the way up into Montana, they're highlighting the chance of maybe perhaps, looks like snow may be a concern, so we're gonna label it here. But again, with how inconsistent the models have been, this is going to be shifting a lot in the days to come. So now that is all of the official guidance. Now I'm going to be showing you what the models show. Okay, so first off, I'm going to be starting off with the ensembles. In this case, I'm going to be starting with the GEFS. Just to give you an idea of how much inconsistency there is and how much uncertainty there is. So again, models have the generalized idea of a storm coming down from Canada into the Pacific Northwest and then going from there. But so here, um, very early Tuesday morning, you can see rain likely in these areas. And then snow, obviously, as you can see, slight, then possible, then likely. And then skip ahead to about midday Tuesday Central Daylight Time. Some snow chances down in the higher elevations of Colorado, and again, especially prevalent in Montana. Skip ahead to about near midnight, Wednesday Central Daylight Time. This is when your peak snowfall starts occurring. That's the general consensus, is that right around early, very late overnight Tuesday into early Wednesday morning is when the worst of your snowfall can be expected in these areas at least. And then South Dakota really starting to change as the day on Wednesday progresses, and especially as you head into Thursday morning. Likely probabilities being indicated from a western South Dakota all the way into northern Wyoming. And then again, there's a general consensus that you see a low pressure system settle over here. Now, the strength of it varies significantly, and right now the median is about 1006, which is decent, but so now a possible chances extend from Montana all the way to northern Minnesota at one point. This is for early Friday morning, so about near dawn. And then at one point, especially in upper Michigan, northern Wisconsin, again to northern Minnesota. So here's the thing. A lot of these areas, this is going to be your guys' first snowfall, let alone your first accumulating snowfall. So while the ground is still pretty warm in places, with just how much cold air is going to be wrapping in behind the cold front, it's certainly possible that, yeah, sure, early on the snow melts on the roadways, but again, especially as the colder air filters in, you might see some slick conditions develop. So you're going to have to take it really careful on those roads. Could also see flash freeze instances with the rain obviously occurring beforehand, and then here's where the predictability really is scattered rain. As you can see, it's just widespread, slight chances. The storm's not going to be that large. I mean, you'd be looking at a mega storm right there. It's just that the miles are so everywhere with it that one will be saying, oh, it's supposed to snow here, but another are like, no, it's going to snow there. And then this only continues, but again, you see likely, I mean, possible probabilities developing. Now, this is with that potential second storm developing. And the general consensus for that second storm lies between Wyoming all the way into western Wisconsin and upper Michigan. So this will be further to the east if it does develop. So that's the GEFS. I'm going to quick show you the national blend of miles. So this is NOAA's national blend of models, and I'll show you the 72-hour snowfall forecast. So again, with snow ongoing for a bit of northern Minnesota into Wisconsin, according to your national blend of models, um, parts of the higher elevations in western Oregon into western Washington could see a widespread 6 to 10 inches of snow. Idaho, you're looking at between 4 and 8 inches of snow. Again, higher accumulations for the higher up you go. And then Montana could be hardest hit with the snow, um, with widespread amounts varying from 6 to 12 plus inches in the higher elevations, including I've seen some model runs indicating 30 plus inches, with some of the lowlands seeing widespread amounts of 5 to 10 inches. And then you go to North Dakota, especially the northwestern two-thirds of the state, you're looking at widespread 3 to 6 inches of snow with locally higher amounts possible. And then western South Dakota, you're looking at between mainly 3 to 5 inches with, again, locally higher amounts possible in the Badlands. And then Wyoming, same story. And then it's not going to be just limited to there. You see these grays, you're going to see widespread dusting to inch and a half of snow. Now, this could include Texas for a bit because there have been model runs that brought snow all the way down to Kansas and Texas. So it's not like it's just a strictly northern US thing. No, it's could include a bit of the South. But will it be bad by any means? No, I don't think so. But your main focus and your main concern is going to stretch from Idaho to especially Montana, Wyoming, and then into North Dakota, maybe a bit of northern Minnesota too. So that's the national blend of miles. Now I'm going to be showing you my forecast. Okay, so here is my snowfall prediction for at least according to the blend of miles I've gathered. Now, I haven't really gone into Oregon, California, or Nevada just quite yet because there is just way too much uncertainty. But I will throw it out there that especially if you're in northern Nevada into the higher elevations, California and Oregon, you should be on the lookout for possibly some snowfall too. But for now, here is what I have. So the light blues, this is where you could potentially see flakes. So maybe perhaps up to an inch of accumulation. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe some slick roads towards the end, although I think flash freeze is going to be your main concern, or at least that is as this moment. Again, things are and will change. Um, the purple here is your mid range, so it's not going to be the most significant snow, but you're looking at possibilities between 1 and 4 inches. So again, especially once the colder air starts affecting the roadways, then you could see slick stretches. And then finally, your winter storm watch color, because I finally found it, the shade of it. Um, so again, affecting primarily Montana, then again into a bit of northwestern South Dakota and especially western North Dakota. Now, this is where, at least as of this moment, I think you will most likely see significant snowfall. So again, this could range from 8 to 30 inches, but your 30 inches is going to be mainly limited to the higher elevations. But in your lower elevations, you could be still looking at a widespread 4 to 8 plus inches of snow. So, what to do right now? Honestly, just keep an eye on the forecast, look at the latest trends, the latest predictions, and what the possible impacts are. So prepare for the possibility of slippery roads and obviously again with this being the first snowfall of the seasons for many, let alone starting off of a big snowstorm, um, travel could be very treacherous. So prepare for the possibility of just canceling trips for the time being or postponing them. Also, prepare for isolated power outages because this will be a wet snowfall, and that combined with high winds, we're looking at possibly 35 plus mile an hour wind gusts at times too, especially towards the higher elevations. Prepare for isolated power outages, maybe some tree damage. Although I don't think this will be a significantly damaging event because, yeah, sure, we'll start off as a wet snow, but then, especially the higher up you go, it's supposed to be more of a fluffier snow, especially as more and more of the cold air wraps in. So that concludes today's video. Just keep an eye on the forecast, keep yourself updated, and see you in the next video.